Hello, and we're live. Welcome back. How was y'all's weekend? Um, yeah, so a lot has gone on this weekend. I think LeBron James was traded to Philadelphia. Yeah. What do we think about that? Ritual? Yeah. The rituals keep on going. So hey guys. All right, we got our first QQQ. Put your QQQs in the chat. If you want me to tap into any pop culture or any news, there's a lot going on in the airways, a lot going on in the collective. I feel like collectively, oh, I got on at 333. You know, my life is kind of already predestined, I feel, or pre-scheduled. My mother's always like, get a plan together. And I'm like, God laughs at me when I plan, like for real. Um, anyway, so there's a lot going on in the collective energy this weekend. A lot of, especially at the end of the Lionsgate portal, I think a lot of us are clearing out relationship toxicity that have been ingrained and embedded in our bloodlines and our everyday life. They've been interwoven in the fabric of our families and relationships and friendships and things like that. We're clearing out narcissistic abuse, I feel, on a mass collective scale. And it's tough. It's like balancing out the scales day by day. And it's almost like dissociative identity disorder on a massive level, massive scale. We are seeing the narcissists come out of the woodwork. We are seeing the lies. And in fact, Andrew Wilson, this is a perfect example. Watching the Candace Owens debate with Andrew Wilson triggered the hell out of me. Like with just narcissistic abuse, like when they're lying in front of your face and they just like hold on to it. And it's like clear that they're bombing, but they still hold on to their argument. But yet you're the one that's like chastising them or you're the one that's wrong. And it just like triggers them even more. And then they get louder and more boisterous and start, flaring their chest. That is such a trigger for me, because the more you remain calm, the more you can be made out to be the wolf or the bad guy, even if your argument is sound. So I think on a that was like, I don't know, can anyone relate to that? Like I could tell that Candace Owens was holding back, like didn't want to publicly like humiliate him, like wanted to still be respectful, but it was just so ridiculous. So, blatantly obvious, and it's just like, come on, dude, don't be that dude. Like, don't be that dude that holds on to your argument like as you're falling and flailing. Like, have some dignity and like take accountability for when you're wrong. Like that just was a huge trigger for me with narcissism, narcissistic abuse as well. And some people will just like fight to the death and like just for the sake of being right, or like them feeling like they're in the right spot of the argument on the right side. And it's like, I don't know about you guys, but it's never been about being right for me. It's always about like finding common ground, understanding how someone empathically is living their life, like putting yourself in someone else's shoes. I think that's why I have such a big superpower as a psychic medium, is that I can see the why of people's actions. Excuse me. There's my throat going again. Throat chakra attacks. Sorry. I worked out in an infrared sauna before and I'm like, so thirsty. So So yeah, I think collectively we are recognizing that we have attracted into our life. Every relationship we've attracted into our life thus far has been a reflection of what we needed to heal, in my opinion. And it's a hard truth to stomach. But if we can take accountability for every moment that brought us to this exact moment here and now, that's where the miracle can shift and change, in my opinion. No matter how screwed we've gotten ourselves into the mud. So, I think we're seeing this. I think, as within, so without, we're seeing, this being magnified, the instance between Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson, the debate. We're seeing this be cleared out and the phonies rising to the surface to be cleared and purged like a pimple, popped like a pimple, and the cream of the crop will also rise. So I think that's what we're seeing on a collective level. What do you think? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree, 2 if you disagree. Share your thoughts. I love a good dialogue, a healthy debate. Let's see. Hi, Paula. Thanks for coming. Hi, Wendy. So happy. I'm so happy to see you. Hi, Jean. Thanks for coming. D7th son. Hi. Hi, Steve. Always lovely to see you. Okay, so here we go. Hello, I have a QQQ. Did CK's father, mother, Tyler Robinson family watch the CEO debate? Oh, great question. Y'all can hear me, right? Just double checking. I don't want to be like 7 minutes in and everyone being like, I can't hear you. Yes, CK's father watched it. So did CK's mother. The family, the family of Tyler Robinson didn't. Now, here's an interesting little fun fact that I picked up on this weekend, which was new. This was a new energy I hadn't picked up on before, but Tyler Robinson actually believes he was the one responsible for unaliving CK, allegedly, but he's not. So there is so much MK Ultra involved in this shenanigans. And whatever we were seeing on the rooftops absolutely was kind of like staged. I think obviously. And you know what the craziest thing is that I should have looked up what Patsy meant a long time ago. I thought it was like pansy, like they were like trying to publicly humiliate him for being gay. I didn't realize that, and for being a furry. I just assumed that that's what that word meant, but it actually means like the fall guy, the scapegoat, which I should have looked that up. But it's like, why wouldn't they use scapegoat? Like Patsy just like is so much more emasculating in my opinion. I don't know. Anyway, I think they did that on purpose. It's like definitely mind control. But I picked up on the fact that Tyler Robinson like was brainwashed into thinking that he was responsible for it, and he's absolutely not. Charlie Kirk was alive in the car, and then he was unalived in the car, allegedly. That's what I've picked up. That's what I'm standing by. I don't believe he was shot. I don't think that's what killed him. In my personal readings, it felt like, again, just putting the pieces together, it felt like there was something bent out of shape, quite literally, or hyperextended with his right elbow that really hurt. Something with his tailbone as well, the way he was laying down or the way they had positioned him or moved him in the car was very volatile, I'm going to say. And wasn't at all like worried about getting someone to the hospital and urgent care as quickly as possible, or the ER, to save a life. It was like kind of like schlepping a dead, like they were treating him like an already schmed body before he was unalived. Does that make sense? I also felt like his neck was snapped, and by someone that was well equipped or well versed in how to destabilize someone very quickly, like a Marine, like it had like training in how to unalive someone very quickly in a threat, in combat, something like that. So that's what I've channeled from the beginning, and that's what I stand by. I do believe that there is a combination of a drone and whatever was connected to his mic. There was some type of shattered explosion. I felt it. It was cold. Um, I don't know how all of these things that I felt connect to one another, but if I know anything about how I channel and how I read in my medium sessions, what I feel, um, there's just I have a good track record with that within my medium readings and spirit communication. So they usually somehow fit together like a puzzle piece in the end. If I don't overly think about it or try to make sense of it, the spirit will kind of like fill in the gaps, fill in the pieces. And I think he gives me pieces to the puzzle intentionally, like breadcrumbs, just because it's such a high profile case that also has a lot of risk involved with it. Speaking out on it publicly, the truth. I think Candace Owens has a lot of hidden knowledge in relation to the case. I think Erica Kirk has even more because she's higher up in the club. She has compromised her soul way more. Candace Owens is going rogue and like going against, swimming against the school of fish in the current. And despite all of her like threats, I'm sure she's had a lot of threats. I'm sure she's had a lot of like back and forth with corruption and people trying to silence her. Um, I'm getting a lot of international people kind of trying to strong arm her. Mm, that water's good today. All right. Richard Gere, truly lovely, truly love his wife. Does Richard Gere, why did I read that so wrong? Is Richard Gere truly in love with his wife? Let's see. Okay, so I don't know anything about Richard Gere and his wife. So I'm a lot of cards just to see, like, I got a yes. He's truly in love with his wife. I said, why? Like, what's the nature of their relationship? And it looks like something that's been built over years, slow and steady foundation. However, um, since being with him, he has slowly whittled away at her confidence, or vice versa. I'm going to say it's more towards her confidence. Um, it looked like she was well, like prominent and well known in her career before she met him. She's very smart. It looks like she doesn't follow the popular vote. She is someone that swims against the current. Like, she's someone, it kind of feels like she's an air sign, like Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy, where she thinks for herself. However, I do see there's been a, like, maybe she's taken time away from work more so than ever before, and that's taken away from her confidence a little bit in the last 6 months. That is what I'm picking up. What else can you tell us about this relationship? I don't think Richard Gere's health is too good right now. That's what I'm picking up. I would say Richard Gere doesn't have a good communication style. It's just what I'm picking up. He can tend to be a little bit materialistic. She balances him out a little bit. That's what I'm picking up. Brings things into perspective. However, why did she marry him? What was the ultimate reason for marrying him? Ooh. Movement and prosperity. So there is some type of business or prosperity she's acquired in coming in an alliance with him. I do think there's mutual respect here. But something in her confidence has waned since being with him a little bit. Is Richard Gere in the Illuminati Club? He's done his best to not give in to the pressures and the financial deceit is what I'm getting. He's been confronted many times, but he's excited for the changes that are happening in Hollywood right now. Seems like he's cried a lot of tears behind closed doors about the movies he's had to do or compromise himself for. And yeah, I don't know anything about Richard Gere. That's just what I'm picking up. All right, there's a full moon, a partial. Why am I reading wrong today? There's a full partial lunar eclipse on the 28th in Pisces, and we're moving into Mars squaring Saturn retrograde on September 1st. Yeah, so Saturn retrograde, I believe it started in actually in like the end of July, right? But it's going to be going on until December 10th, I believe. And so we have a lot of time to really like master our relationships, master how we see them and how we've taken part in what we pulled in, right? And this is also a time to paint on our canvas of our reality, the life that we want to build in stability and financial abundance and in a new earth way, in a new frequency. So it's super important. I've been journaling every day. I've been really speaking into existence with my quantum codes and just little by little, it's just like almost organizing and decluttering every little thing you can just day by day so that eventually it's like you can receive in that container, that organized container, all the stuff you're trying to build and manifest mentally, and in a visual way, envisioning it. So yeah, I think it's a really, really important time astrologically to kind of like get all your ducks in a row, take time out for yourself to think. And there is something to be said about boredom is a kind of like a doorway to creativity. So allow the inner child to be bored in creativity. 1, yay, 1. Woohoo! Hi, Patricia. Thanks, Steve. His mind has been warped. I don't know who you're referring to as his, maybe Richard Gere. You're picking up other throat chakras to the extent that I'm feeling it. I'm so thirsty. I'm so sorry. This is going to be an entire just like episode of me gulping in the microphone. I'm so sorry. That water's so good. It was literally the Thomas Crown Affair. Oh, I've never seen. Have I seen Thomas Crown Affair? I don't think so. QQQ, is David Icke a double agent for both White Hats and the Shadow Group? No. No, I think he has cleverly walked the line of not pissing them off so much, the deep state and the shadow group. He's walked the line of not pissing them off so much that he's unalived. So I wouldn't call that a double agent, someone that's like compromising themselves, but to a certain extent, like Donald Trump, like he's been like he's had to straddle both sides of the fence to get to they will not let you accumulate that amount of money, that type of money, without their consent, without their like gatekeepers allowing it, the keys to the gates, it's just like in Hollywood, like Kevin Hart speaks about. So I think David Icke's one of those like OG original truth speakers, and he has been very smart about who he's gotten to protect him in his inner circle. It seems like he has some connections with journalists that go way back, that have some like royal connections, is what I'm getting. He doesn't tell anybody about these connections, but that's what's kind of like protecting him. And that's his only, like, I wouldn't even say that's a compromise in any way. Because he's just someone that doesn't compromise. He is very steadfast in his value system, and his spiritual practice. But he has two in particular friends that I would say that are still of his old world, or the old networks, that protect him. So that's the only. I'm getting like the term like White Walker. I don't know why. I know like in the Game of Thrones, like I think they were the people that guarded like a certain wall, right? If I'm not mistaken. And they were like it was like in a snowy, like North Pole type of, or Antarctica type of location, where they had to guard. That's what I'm getting. It's like he has some connections to like something that would be equivalent of a White Walker, maybe in Antarctica, or because of his information, it almost looks like he's bartered knowledge for knowledge with someone in high places, two people, and these people protect him. That's what I'm picking up. So I don't think he's a double agent yet, anyway. QQQ, how does Charlie feel about Trump now? Does he regret helping him get elected? I'm just hearing chuckling. Very, very fascinating answer. I asked him, do you regret helping Trump to get elected? He said, absolutely not. considering who he was up against. So the better option was Trump. And he's saying it's obvious that people in power, the politician puppets, they switch them out. And that's what they did with Biden. He's saying something like he had too much confidence. Also, yeah, I think what was her name? The female that ran for Kamala Harris. She's also, I mean, she's like just not the sharpest tool in the shed, not the brightest crayon in the box at all. She almost looks like she's a product of incest to me, inbred. Like she does not seem smart at all. I'm sorry, that's so mean. I feel like she also somehow is related to Obama. I don't know how, I don't know why, but there's just something in like their energy signature that is similar. Like whenever I see family members, I can see matches in like their face and their energy signatures, just like I can with like couples that are intimate with one another. And they have something similar in the face. It's like an entity, bloodline entity in the way that they smile. It's interesting that I see that both of them have. It's kind of like seeing like little emojis on top of people, like when people that I could see would like be a great match, like compatible, like romantically. It's like seeing like similar emojis on top of their head, like little like bubbles, like little quote bubbles, that are similar, like with emoji, the same emojis in it, if that makes sense. And so it's the same thing with like siblings and family members that are in this, cousins, things like that. I can see similar things in the aura. And for whatever reason, it's the smile and the cheekbones. There's a certain entity that lives in that bloodline. And as you know, the presidents are already chosen and they're all related, right? So bloodlines are tracked. um, so yeah, anyway, he was the best option, but now Trump has been compromised. And on top of that, more is going to be coming out about like I'm still pushing for the Sasha Riley tapes to be more well known. That's where Trump really is exposed in all his nefarious activities that he has partaken in with the Freemasons. Now it could have been his clone, right? He has several clones. So there's that. But the more that we dig and the more that we listen and shed on these things that have been silenced, these testimonies, the more that it will come out that our government has these cloning programs. And the less control they'll have over us is what I'm picking up like from Charlie. Like there's a big thing with the cloning process and the cloning, like he's saying it like all started with Dolly, the sheep. And it's been going on for quite some time. It's gotten more sophisticated, but it started in like 1938 and then like really became part of the everyday norm in like in 1965 or something, he's saying. Maybe 1968. No, 1965. 1968 is when it became like approved for something is what I'm kidding. Hope that answers your question. All right. Is Hayden's passing retaliation from the Johnson & Johnson lawsuit? No. I think the Johnson & Johnson lawsuit is somehow a distraction. I don't know what the Johnson & Johnson lawsuit is. I haven't heard about it. But it's some type of distraction that's covering up some type of sex moon ritual. That's what I'm picking up. Great clearing the throat chakras. You're very potent. Oh, thanks. I try. And I have my little frequency necklace on today. Always helps. Once you're in the club, you cannot leave. You know, I'm going to put out there, I don't think that's true. Or at least I hope that's not true, because we have free will. And yeah, I mean, the more that you've compromised yourself, the harder it is to get out, but you can always get out. That there, in my experience with like just all the corruption that I've experienced in you know, with all the shenanigans I've been through this last year, what I learned is they have to give you a straight shot out by your free will, because everything is so deceitful and is kind of like this luring. It's a game of luring, because the devil has to work with your free will, and it's a trap, it's a gimmick, it's a trick. It's all an illusion. So when you wake up to it, it's just that easy as a snap, where you call your power back. You're far more powerful than these people. And like when you wake up to that, miracles come in left and right. And you have to be okay with like balls to the wall, like not caring about money and knowing that you'll be provided for. That is the problem that most people can't handle. Or the challenge that most people can't handle. They want to be in control. They want to be seen as in control. And, you know, that's a common root chakra problem. And if you feel like you can't provide for yourself, if you feel like you have to constantly be on the grind to have a foundation for yourself, or like money is how you define yourself, and you have to have a job, and you have, it's like part of a hat that you feel comfortable and confident wearing. It's like a safety blanket that you hold on to. You will also have like addiction problems in Hollywood as well. So those root chakra problems go hand in hand. But when you walk by faith and not by sight, suddenly everything in the root chakra is provided for. Your shelter, all the necessary things needed for autonomy are provided when you walk in a righteous path, the chosen path, I would say. And it's not easy. It's so scary and hard, but some people are just like myself, are hardwired. Like I have like this default mode where when people try to control me, I think it's the indigo child in me. It's like how God made me. Like the second someone tries to control my narrative or my light or my path in any way, or tries to control my gifts in any way, and tries to like skew what my internal beliefs are, I have a knee-jerk reaction. I don't care what it like, I will not push my beliefs on anybody else. I'm a constant work in progress. So I expect that same respect equally reciprocated. And the second, it's an energy thing, the second someone's trying to handle me or control me, I am out. Like I'm like the road runner. Now you see me, now you don't. That's my Libra self. Like I'll be like smiling in your face and nodding, and I'm off. I'm gone. The second you disrespect me. So in my experience, you can leave. It's hard. But there's like once you make that declaration, you will start to find the straight shot to the exit hatch. Because a lot of it is like you won't realize it. I think a lot of people get into Hollywood thinking like, "Oh, all my dreams are coming true." Huh? They, like they wine and dine and schmooze them, and then they realize how much is compromising them, and then they think their ego won't be able to like back out or like, speak up and things like that. Um, whether it's shame, blackmail, that kind of thing. Which is always the shtick. It's always the shtick. Shame and blackmail. But I'm telling you, I don't know. Maybe I'm just built different, but there's always a straight shot out. They have to. They have to. That is your birthright. That is a child of God's promise. So that's just my personal opinion. I don't think everyone's doomed. I think that, but you have to make the genuine shift and change. You have to make start walking in righteousness and visible changes. And that's whenever you can get out. It's like natural protection, but it isn't easy. It isn't easy and it's scary. QQQ, will David Icke join forces with a famous podcaster? I gotta know. Or the one that you're thinking of is a no. He's gonna make a guest appearance, but I don't think he's gonna join forces permanently. QQQ, why was Charlie Kirk afraid he would be put in jail if Trump was not elected? Great question. Has to do with little hats. Has to do with little hats and also a connection to Erica Kirk. Was she pregnant during this time? Because there's a reference to her being pregnant and them using that against him as well and threatening him, the little hats. Why was Trump a protection for him? Yeah, there's some financial protection somewhere along the way. Like, yeah, the little hats. I'm getting there's a connection to little hats. And temporarily, Trump was like protecting him financially, somehow had the financial protection he needed against the little hats, something like that. I don't know. It looks like, if I'm honest, so it looks like when I tap into the energy, like with the little hats, it looks like the little hats, like they come in there, the bully on the playground, they wreck shop. Like they call the shots. With Trump, it's like almost like he has something also over their head. So they're more equal, I would say. Um, like Trump has more leverage, like more to play in his hand, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Thanks, Steve. Yes, don't forget to hit the like button, share, subscribe. Is Candace Owens currently safe? I pick up current somewhat hostility vibe around her. So I got a reference to dogs, which I assume that symbolism with my guides in my mind's eye is cops. So corrupt cops. So what I'm seeing is and obviously she has a journalistic mind. Like she's very thorough in checking like her sources and double checking. But it seems what I'm picking up on is a planted corrupt cop that is crop is significant. I don't know why, but there's a cop that's trying to feed her the wrong information. I think that she's picking up on it, but that might be also why you're feeling irritation or hostility, because she's losing patience and tolerance for these people that keep circling in and trying to get her off track, distract her with baloney and bullshit leads. And then also she's pregnant, right? So she's on top of that, way more tapped into her intuition than normal, way hormonal. And I'm seeing there's a cop that's trying to feed her the wrong information so that she stumbles publicly and has to like apologize for giving out the wrong information. So I see that coming to light. But I think she's going to catch it. Is David Copperfield magic? Wait, what? Is David Copperfield magic a shadow power of some of it? Of some of it is light, or is some of it light? I cannot read today. Apologies, guys. Yes, he is a shadow power. I think he pulls on some dark magic for sure. Also think like these people that claim they're like mentalists and do magic shows, they're also pulling on dark energy as well. You're lucky if you can survive leaving. Poor Isaac. I think David Icke really speaks to this and is a testament to just how powerful the mind, the pineal projector truly is. And this is why I talk about the projector dome. We are encapsulated in a holographic, net. And the shape of our world, just like a cell with plasma in it, is permeable and shifts with consciousness and shifts in adaptability to its environment. And so the more that we understand and enlighten ourselves with knowledge, the more that our world and morphs, shifts, and is shaped according to how we see it. So this is so paramount in your belief system and your spiritual strength and ranking when leaving, when stepping away from the cult. But everything is a cult here in this physical plane. That is the hell of the anatomy that we've dropped into such a low frequency here in the 3D. And so that's the spiritual journey. Now, not all answer the call. And not all of us, some people don't have internal dialogue. Some people they don't have a soul. They just have a spirit. and they're background people, as Dolores Cannon talks about. And some people call these double agents. Some people call these people non-human, NPCs, that kind of thing. So whatever you want to call it, you have to be able to pick them out. And you have to be able to realize when you are wasting your sacred energy on these people that will never get it. So when I say don't throw pearls at a pig, they're going to sniff it like corn. These are the pigs I'm talking about. Don't put lipstick on them. Don't get in the mud with them. It will siphon you. It will get you so off track, and then you'll be mad at yourself that you fell for it and lost valuable time. So these are people that are intentionally put on the path to distract you. And some may even call these people demons, because they close in. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone, where you're like, did I miss something here? Hi, Mystic. Hi, Jess. Was the recent fire in my area started the way it's being reported, or is there deception there? 100% deception. And you know what's interesting, Mystic? My guys just said, I said something like, you can't spell optimistic without mystic in it. I don't know. So I don't know. They're giving you a little like salute in the spirit realm for whatever you're doing optimistically. It's like working, whatever work you've been doing. That's putting out positive vibes and a positive mindset. They're saying thank you and keep up the good work. So that's just a little salute to you there. Okay, so let's ask about this fire. Immediately I'm picking up there's deception there. What is the deception? Yeah. The way it started is it's not how they're reporting it. Someone intentionally started it. It's a male celebrity or well-known public figure. They're hiding the real facts. And also there's children behind the fence. Maybe this is a distraction to cover up child transport or child S. I don't know how to say the rest of it. How do I say the spirit? Savory. Yeah. I'll let you fill in the blanks. Some people being held above somewhere. Maybe a second floor, maybe an attic, maybe like a room upstairs. Ugh. There's a lot of crowding. There's a lot of stale, stingy air. No air conditioning. I don't know. Please do tell some more information about this. And let me know if I'm on the right track, but this is a deep, dark rabbit hole. Yeah. Not good. Covering up some nefarious stuff. Does Andrew Wilson enjoy posting the text he received from TPUSA? X accounts calling it forged text. Is he content with what he does for TPUSA? Oh gosh, I haven't seen this, but it's making me laugh just hearing about it. I got that he's a little bit embarrassed and cringed by it, but he's like his higher self anyway. But his confidence and ego and pride won't let him, so he just like sticks to it. Like, I think that's the the hallmark of a true narcissist is that they just by any means necessary stick to the original stance. Even just hoping that memory wiping and fluoride in the toothpaste will be enough for people to forget and just eventually just nod and go along with the narrative. That's what I think. It's just like people that think for themselves. It's just like it is secondhand embarrassment so much on a deeper level to me with Andrew Wilson. Like sometimes I just have to like switch off and just watch something else for a little bit just to like stomach it because I'm just so embarrassed for him. I don't even think he's that embarrassed, but maybe it's just because I'm tapping into his higher self. And his higher self is so disconnected from the pride and the ego right now. I mean, he's just all in the lower chakras. Clearly, he's smoking like a train, smoking like a chimney, and like has a huge, let's talk about the entity attachment he has. Oh my God. There's like a World War II soldier attached to him with a weird hat that like, I don't know. It's a little greasy. That's the smoking attachment entity I see attached to him is like, and this guy has something like tied around his neck, this entity. So I also see something restricted around his neck. And that's why if you ever see Andrew Wilson in the debate when he's like has like a tick, you'll see him like that's like a sign of mind control, like MK Ultra. Like he's constantly like, I mean, he literally looks like he's glitching out whenever Candace Owens makes like a really valid point and he has no response, like no logical rebuttal. He'll just like, then his foot starts to go crazy. All right, last one because I got to run. I'm going to come back later on this evening at around 7 p.m. And do another like impromptu pop-up live. I got to go run and do some readings. But last one. Thanks, guys, so much for coming. First day of the rest of your life. You guys, book a reading with Jess has told me is everything she's told me is true so far. Oh, thanks, Tracy. Cute. Jess, I've never asked this before, but do you think my daughter-in-law is fond of me? Oh, gosh. You're putting me on the spot, Tracy. Hopefully she's not watching this. So, okay, it's not so bad. So what I'm seeing is that I think she's fond of you. I think she maybe doesn't necessarily trust the relationship and has a full-on loyalty to her husband. So perhaps maybe when there's arguments or conflict or things of that nature, there's a big influence on what her husband tells her about you. So 100% she has a loyalty to her husband, which I guess, that's how you want to hear about it, right? That's, you want to hear that your wife is completely loyal to him. So I would say sometimes maybe the way that she responds to you isn't always as genuine because she's playing more of the safe card, if that makes sense. But yes, I think she does. She looks at it as like you're part of the business deal. You come with the package. That's what I'm getting. I hope that helps. All right. Bye, guys. Y'all have a good one. Love and light.